Okay, dear Lucely, we are here to evaluate your speaking and listening SEM. Initially, it's important that your students can actually see that this is a speaking and listening SEM. From the first, let's say, side, students cannot actually see that. Then, what I see, it's a very long test that I'm not sure if you actually kept in mind your students' language level. Keep in mind that they are, as you were saying here, beginners and intermediate. So it seems that you are aiming at using this activity for these two different language levels. So I'm not certain if students of A1 or probably B1 will be able to actually understand what you're having here. So initial recommendation is you have to actually decide the level of your students or the students that will be using this. Secondly, the objectives. It seems that your intention is to include certain content plus language. So it's important that you actually include these objectives here. The objectives are still too general if we are talking about how to develop speaking or how to develop listening. I saw that in the rest of activities there are videos, but there is nothing regarding the listening, let's say, objective here. There is not even a learning objective, and as you are talking about here, discuss, you are not giving students the language to discuss. So we have to scaffold the process. You're talking about a forum, but that is like written assignment, so it's a little bit confusing here. You are engaging students to write or to participate a role play, to develop a role play, but there is no further guidance on how to work in the role play. So be careful because the objectives are a little bit difficult for students. When going to the task, we can see that in a way tasks are a bit long. Students initially have to watch a video, but there is no, let's say, input for them to watch the video. You just send them to look for some words that maybe they don't understand, but even for them, it might be difficult to see what they understand. The song lasts 3 minutes, which means a lot of time for them, and at the end, they might be a little bit disappointed because they cannot actually understand the test. Then you are sending them to a new video, a quiz, but you are not giving them again any ways to actually go to understand the listening. Let's say that probably this one is the closest, let's say, strategy that you're having, like telling them pay attention to the main idea, but you never explain what the main idea and how they can get the details. This is exactly what you are teaching them. You're telling them to take notes, which is a strategy, but probably they don't know how to take notes. And you're telling them, so you are having here three useful strategies that could be in a way the objectives. Again, this is a difficult video, again, a long video, and you're sending them to different websites that, well, with difficult language for them and long websites that might be difficult for them to actually understand what to do. Even the language that is there is difficult, the vocabulary that is there is difficult. So, how do you think your students will actually cope with that? Then they are suddenly sent to a glossary, a very extensive glossary. What is the purpose of this? What do you want your students to do with this? And here we are into a reading assignment. You also, I think that these are, so I find the activity very complex. Again, we have a new video, and well, it's becoming very difficult for students. Instructions have to be clearer, instructions have to be shorter, you have to give a lot of examples to students, and finally, to end up, the rubric was not considered. So we have problems with the objectives, we have problems with the instructions. Let's say that due to the topic might be motivating, but anyway, the activity can be difficult for them. There is no input as suggested in the rubric, no logical procedures, there is no evaluation and feedback. You didn't cite the resources and you are using resources that are not yours. Let's say that you can use technology. I can see that you can create a website that you can upload, but definitely, and there are a lot of language problems. So I hope that you continue improving your SAM. Try to make it simpler, shorter, more concise for students so they will be able to learn from your SAM. Okay?